What we have here is a moment in time when we're beginning to see the conflict between the Huron and the Iroquois, and clearly the architectural patterns at this site are very unique. This is an extremely important site for us to be investigating, and it's also very important for the Huron to be here and seeing their own history come alive. In 1450, standing right where we are right now, there would have been a cacophony of noise, and it would have been children yelling, parents screaming at their children likely. You would have had lots of activity of scraping hides. You would have had woodworking. There would have been dozens of people around the village. There would be people out in the cornfields around us. As we stand here and see all these structures, we see bark-covered structures inhabited by hundreds of people. Imagine a fully functional village with hundreds of people and everybody setting about their day-to-day activities. And the objects like the ones in front of me, fully intact, large pots containing water, corn soup. You would have had people smoking their pipes, people with bone necklaces hanging around their bodies covered in skins, bear canine necklaces. All of that, all of this archaeological record comes to life in that scene.
Our people, were here 500 years ago, so it was kind of a magic, to see that, and I had a feeling that we were going back in the time. And I felt so privileged to be here.
I'm Douglas Cardinal. I'm an architect and planner. I've been asked to come here and participate in the preservation of our history. Our history before contact, a very important part of history we should have for all Canadians. I find this very exciting, and it just brings back this very strong spiritual connection that the first peoples had with the land.
As archaeologists, we're working to tell the story of the site, but working with the Huron so that we can tell them, their people, their council about the site. How important is that when we have all sorts of events occurring in Ontario and across the border where there are conflicts that almost all of them have their catalyst being archaeological in nature, burials or some kind of event that relates to precisely what we're doing on this site.
We were forced to leave those lands in 1648. This part is missing, we know about this story, but very few of my people have had a chance to come back here. And for me, that's why I feel so privileged to come back and to see where my ancestors were.
It's so important that we begin in looking at sites like this to think about, with the Huron, how to preserve that past as well, so that we can, for generations, tell people the story, the history of the Huron on the North Shore.